So, in the heart of your reading, you have temperance, right? So, temperance talks about balance, harmony, divine timing, of course, right? The whole patience thing, but it's also making the impossible possible. And I've been kind of reading this and reading it this way for a little bit. I said in Sagittarius this was balance and things. I really regret saying that now because I feel like this was really telling me that this is talking about making the impossible possible. Because their message was very similar to everyone else's, which was even if situations look a little kind of crazy, you can still make it happen. The Temperance card tells us that, hey, with time, with patience, with balance, we can make the impossible possible. We can make things happen when we least expect that it can happen. We just have to kind of get out of our logical mind that thinks, oh, logically, we can't do X, Y, and Z. Technically, we can't walk on water. Yeah, but if you develop a device or something like that that will help you levitate, then you can, can't you? But the situation is this, right? Don't limit yourself. And the Temperance card to me is a very limitless kind of card. And it's like, don't bound yourself to anything. And that's the reason why we have patience, right? Because things are going to be put into place and put into order for us to be able to execute certain things. We just have to believe, one, that we can do those things, execute those things, and have patience as we find those methods to get to where we want to be. It just may take us some time, but it also will take us an immense amount of working hard and putting in the work necessary, right? So, and that work typically goes into the thing that you're waiting on, different results, different expectations from, because you're doing something different. You have to change, right? Change what you're doing about yourself. So temperance in the heart of this reading it's not necessarily about patience this time. It's about making the impossible possible, applying where the limits go, right? But then you also have this crossing, you have this being crossed by temperance here. You have temperance being crossed by the King of Wands. Okay, so you guys are getting hit with a ton of court cards, and I usually don't like them when they come up like this in general readings like this, because they give you a characteristic and they tell me about how you or your partner may be doing, and they kind of give you an overall sense of what's going on as far as personally goes, which is not a bad thing, but I feel like it doesn't really give us all the information that we feel that we need, simply because these are just people. These are people in the reading. However, it still could tell us more about it, tell us more about what's going on based off of who you are. And since this is, we're going through retrogrades, right? Yeah, we're not going to be really looking at anything outside of ourselves but us and the relationships that we're dealing with because of Venus retrograde. It's crazy that Mercury is going to be hitting us back to back, but yeah, whatever. But the situation is this, y'all. The pride, the antsiness, the feeling to get up and go. Now, the King of Wands doesn't settle down, okay? He doesn't settle down for nothing. He's better at controlling his actions, better than the Knight, better than the Page. But the thing is, I feel like for a lot of you guys, since you guys are fixed signs Taurus, that you guys are feeling really amped up. It's hard to kind of contain yourself and to kind of focus on one thing when you really feel passionate about something. And I feel like it's really about channeling that passion into something that really matters, which is what you're going to be, which is why temperance is coming up. Channeling that and putting all of that energy into the thing that you're trying to create, into your relationships, into your career. And I say relationship here, and I really feel like it's a relationship because you have the King and Queen of Wands, King and Queen of Cups, and the Four of Wands in the future. This is like basically a love reading. So yeah. So with this King of Wands, you're amped up, guys. You're really amped up. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, it's about channeling that energy into your relationships, because it's going to be affecting that. Jupiter just went into Sagittarius, which would enter your 9th house if we're going through equal house system, guys. And that means that this is going to be affecting your belief systems, how you see things, how you experience life. It's the higher learning area of our charts. I don't know too much about it. I'm not an astrologer, but one thing I can say is that it's going to be affecting how you believe, what you believe in your relationships. Now, in the past, you had the Queen of Wands, so you definitely met somebody that matches your energy, someone that's passionate, someone that's willing to fight. And the reason why I say willing to fight is because there's this person, if they knows what they want, they're going after it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They know what they're going. They know where they're doing. They know where they're going, and they know how to direct the energy towards that. This person is either a public figure, someone that's, popular, someone that that's in the limelight, or this could be just somebody that you feel very passionate for, someone that's very passionate as well, someone that is creative that you see, someone that's very confident in themselves. You're very confident in yourself, perhaps, if this is not anybody else. But the situation is this: you've met this person already. Okay, they're coming off as somebody that's very active, very busy, very that stays very active. Okay, and I feel like this could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It could be anybody. But the point of it all is that this person reigns significantly because you have a strong amount of passion for them. You feel on the same level as they do. They see you as theirs. But the thing is, it's crazy that you don't even come up as pentacles in here. You're not showing up as pentacles. So I don't, there's nothing wrong with any of the cards that come up. You know how I always am, but like, ooh, I don't know if I like when I see a swords, whatever. You are who you are in the moment. It doesn't matter. It's not a good or bad thing, but it does shoot off alarm bells when your element does not come up in here at all. So everything is about feeling. It's about passion. It's about new desire. It's about what you feel. And it shifts to a very emotional place here with the King of Cups. Feeling in your emotions, being, very emotionally involved. Feeling a little tender, a little sensitive. And I feel like also being madly and deeply in love. Okay, the King of Cups is in love with everything and everyone. He's a nurturer. He always gives of his emotion. Not really gives of his emotions, but he's very aware of how he feels. Therefore, he is able to navigate in the crazy thing we call life, right? Because he's very connected to his higher self. He's very connected to his emotions via higher self. Or no, his emotions is the channel in which he connects to his higher self. So, aside from that, I do feel like the emotional aspect is strong for both of you. Queen of Cups in your external energy. But I feel like you're feeling it the most, Taurus, right now. I think this person definitely is aware of the connection that you guys have. You guys get along very well. You have a lot of fun together. And the King of Cups here, King of Wands, that crossing energy, yeah, they're opposites, but they can work together because this person influences, how, encouraging your dreams, encouraging your desires, right? Influencing you to continue to go after what it is that you want. While the King of Wands is like, all right, let's do something about it. And I feel like you're in that crossroads of when you're, of trying to figure out what to do about how you feel, because it's getting really, really intense. The King of Cups can get really intense. And I feel like your automatic step is to take it to the next level. Four of Wands, move up to a higher place of commitment, because you're getting more and more involved and really more in you're kind of drowning in your emotions at the moment, and you want to do something about it. You don't want to just sit there and sulk. You don't want to sit there and just feel it. You want to express it. And I feel like that's where you express it, your relationship, being in the moment. And I think taking it taking it and the steps that you're taking it can it can open doors. But the thing is, the King of Cups isn't just like all that lovey-doveyness, the ideal lover, because this could be that too, right? You're dealing with the ideal lover. You're feeling that energy, you're feeling that connection, that vibe, and you love it. Some of you guys, this is talking about other things that are coming up. I feel like when one door opens, the other one opens too, right? You can't, the thing is, when it comes to people and falling in love, and the reasons why a lot of people don't want to is because it opens up old stuff. It opens up old shit. Right? Death is coming up in your external energy. So yeah, the reason why you feel a little antsy right now is because you're getting rid of stuff. You're cleansing stuff right now. And it's hard because, yeah, in that main area, you are in love at this moment. You're feeling the other person. You're really connecting with that other person. But at the same time, you're also reliving things from the past. You're also recognizing a lot of the old stuff, the old habits and behaviors, ways of thinking that you had in the past that's not working. So that's definitely screaming to me that Ten of Swords Lovers combination that we saw earlier, y'all. So whatever you're doing right now, it's good because you're releasing the old shit so you can have the new. That's why you're defensive. That's why you block stuff off. Because right now, you're not really into love like that. You're not really wanting to settle down because you don't got no pentacles in here. You're not looking to try to commit yourself to anything because of this. You're cleansing right now. Honestly, it's good that you guys don't do that, right? And if you did, it's not a bad thing. But the good thing about not necessarily saying let's do this right now is because you're still in a Venus retrograde. You don't want to start a partnership during a Venus retrograde because if you do that, this is all about you looking at how your dynamic is in relationships. You think you focus on the outside too much. Everything is going to kind of force you to look back inward, right? Especially come around next Venus retrograde, right? Usually things don't usually last through a Venus retrograde anyway when it starts, let alone last till the next Venus retrograde, okay? So it's good that you guys are not starting anything, actually. You're more of examining and feeling and taking action in regards to yourself. Because right now, you still have a lot of things that you got to release. You got a whole week. You got till Friday, right? Well, you got your entire life. There's no time limit. That's like a saying here with temperance. Nothing is limited. So you have this death energy going through, but you're going through it while you're taken in love. But this person is opening you up and allowing you to see the things that you not only have suppressed in your own self, but also you are capable of doing, which is loving someone or being open to love like this. Feeling so intensely for someone. Now, the future is the Four of Wands because I do feel like you do take this to the next level. You do move into a higher place of commitment in some degree, but you're not necessarily going to stabilize that mess like a Pentacles would. You were stabilizing this as, okay, let's see how far we can go. Let's see what steps we can reach up to this, right? Because you don't stop at the Four of Wands. You don't stop. You continue to expand. But you celebrate that. You're in the moment and you're feeling good about it. And that's good too. Now, what you guys want to do is feel good about the connection. You guys want to feel proud about the actions that you take. You want to recognize that that the relationships that you get yourself involved in are beneficial to you. And how you do that is by focusing on what your heart has been holding in for so long. Releasing the old stuff. Cleansing the air. And I feel like as well as that, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong way. So guys, when you ask the question, with tarot readers, is this relationship going to work? Well, that depends. How are you feeling about it? Because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if it's going to work out. It doesn't matter if it's not, because it could change tomorrow if you guys have an argument if you find that your partner is unfaithful. It could change tomorrow if you find out that they want to get married immediately, right? Anything can happen. So it doesn't matter if it will or not. It's about how you feel about it moment to moment. It's how you feel about it every day for the past however days you've been dating. Now, in your outcome, you have the Queen of Cups. I love it. You have the whole shebang bang up here. And now, this person is your ideal lover, or you feel like this person is definitely connected with you. The outcome is showing the Queen of Cups. So that's what kind of gave me the impression that the person may not be on the same level at the moment right now, because your shit is more internal. Your shit is you're not expressing a lot of your stuff right now. You're feeling all of the other gunk that you have behind that love. You're like, shit, oh my God, all these insecurities, all these things I haven't felt in so long. Cancer North Node was going to do that to you. But the thing is that you're going through all of this mess, cleansing your air, cleansing your area, temperance, right? Focusing on yourself, moderation, all things, making the impossible possible. Like, whatever you guys have dismissed about relationships, that's kind of being under question right now, right? Because it's like, okay, I put these walls up, but that doesn't mean that I have to keep them there. And if I find out who I truly am underneath the walls, behind the walls that I put up. You kind of making sure that the walls are leveled. And if you gotta knock them down, you gotta knock them down. But that doesn't mean that you can't be open in the meantime, right? You're going to be open when you knock them down. So you're going to get a flooding of everything. And I feel like, considering that this is Scorpio season anyway, and you guys could be seeing a Scorpio, right? But But considering this is Scorpio season, you're going to get all that craziness in there, right? You're going to get all that old stuff. You're going to get all those feelings come up. You know? It's going to come up. But I do feel like with death coming up, you guys, you're clearing the air, you're cleansing the space, so you can have something new. So you can feel good about where you're going. So you can know that, hey, I've gone through some stuff, but I'm not willing to let my life go and be the way it is, you know, kind of old stuffy and stuff. I'm not going to do that because I know who I am now after everything I've gone through. I've changed such a great deal. And I feel like with this Queen of Cups in your outcome, I feel like that person will definitely match your energy too. All right, she'll match it. Or he will match it, okay? Remember when kings and queens come up in tarot readings, y'all, for me anyway, they do not, you know, they're not gender or sex specific, okay? But need and necessity basically means, when I was learning this deck, is that it's a difference between what you need and what is a necessity, right? There's a difference between what you want and a necessity, right? It's a, you know, stating the boundaries, stating things that you definitely require, like good communication, balance. It's a good thing to have a checkbox as to what you need to kind of gauge whether or not this is something that's a go-go or a no-go, okay? But it's a good to separate what you want and what are deal breakers, what aren't, because you can maybe, just because you may not have what you want in that moment, it can kind of set off the wrong flags, if that makes sense. But let me go ahead and take a look at, let's say, see, need and necessity. Night and day exists within the same, within the very same moment. Creation and destruction wear the same mask. You only see one of the other because you are not seeing the whole. You may see what you may see as painful, another may believe to be good. All is based upon perception. In nature, all occurs according to need and necessity, not wrong or right. Ask yourself, is there a genuine need to act? Is change necessary for your continued well-being and happiness? If the answer is yes, then act. If the answer is no, then do not. Damn. Always be deep with the messages, y'all. But you get what they're saying, right? It's that, you know, don't blur the lines between, you know, there's no such thing as a black and white world. As much as it would be easier to have a life like that, you're going to come up short because you're going to realize that there's no limitations that limit everything to black and white. There's always going to be different shades of gray. There's always going to be different shades of everything. So you can't always give a straight answer. You can't always give a straight, you know, okay, well, if this happens, then this happens. You know, nothing's going to be blankets, you know, easy to figure out like that. Not unless it's a math problem or it's business, and you can kind of be like strict like that. But the point of it all is everything has its purposes. Everything has its appearances. But how you utilize them is what's more important than what it really is. You get what I'm saying? So let's say that something bad happens. You know, that thing could very well be, you know, the worst thing in the world. But if you look at how badly it was, then you're missing the point. You're missing the message. You're missing the lesson. It's hard to look at the lesson instead of the pain. But once you do that, you set yourself free because you relieve yourself of the attachments of that pain. Because the pain part, you know, you don't live by your pain. You live by experience. And if you remember that you know, this is, you know, Jupiter going to Sag, you look back at all the experiences that you've gone through, all the things that you've gone through regarding your relationships. I do feel like you'll recognize what you've gone through. It won't be so black and white. Decisions like falling in love with someone won't be so black and white because you know the ins and outs of a situation based off of who you are, right? You know what you need, you know what you want, you know what everything is, you know, is in place for you. When it comes to need and necessity, guys, what it's trying to say is, you know, nothing is black and white, nothing is simple, nothing is going to be, you know, nothing's going to be simple as in, you know, just seeing a situation and then just kind of going with a universal truth or an automatic fixer. You have to see the thing from the whole perspective. You have to see everything from the entire perspective. And that is what's going to help you be able to branch off and, move forward. Now, you guys have time to go. Now, I know what y'all are thinking. Don't freak out. There's no breakup here. But this is very similar to death, though. It's very similar to death, in my opinion. Because you're leaving behind something, or part of you, or part of the way you thought, believed, felt. You're leaving that behind to begin something new. Right? And I feel like when time to go comes up, yeah, it's about leaving behind a place of you, a part of you that has been familiar, that's gotten you through the worst of the worst. And putting that behind you, obviously, right? But you have a new world, a new life ahead. You have a new life going forward, right? And that's the thing with need and necessity, right? Noticing that your situation is in black and white helps you to accept what you need to walk away from, right? It helps you create new boundaries. It helps you create new feelings, a new sense of self. But you have to leave the old behind, and you guys are doing that. I don't, time to go. I feel like you guys are doing that with Death in your External and King of Cups. You're kind of private about how you're feeling right now, but because you're going through some deep stuff, if you need that help, feel free to talk about it with the person that you're seeing, or talk about it with your friends, talk about it with people that you trust, right? But if if you feel more comfortable keeping it to yourself, you're good. But the thing is that I do feel you guys are going through a period of transition right now, because you're noticing that these walls are keeping you from the very thing that you feel you deserve the most, which is love. You want to feel proud about your relationships, and the only way you do that is by relieving this old stuff that's keeping you from being able to feel proud about anything. Period.